DATV viewers, Christian Ramos here, and you've stumbled upon the 4th episode of Boss It. But today is no ordinary episode. If you may remember from episode 160, you may have seen me with a very special person. And today, that same special person is on my show. Ladies and gentlemen, from the number 1A DATV show of Business as Usual, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Kevin Willett.
Hey Christian, thanks for having me on the show. So I'm 1A, I'm not 1?
Hey, look man, you can't be C, it's still in there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to offend.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm surprised you don't have me as number 3 behind your show.
Hey, look man, I'm just the guy that fills in the stuff. So anyways.
So what's going on today?
Well, nothing much. I wanted to bring up BAU itself. Like, where did the idea first come from?
So I used to do a show over in Lowell and stuff. I was a host of a show, and then I wasn't involved in an organization anymore. So I came here to DATV because I live in Drake, and I asked them, hey, I want to do a show. And luckily at the time, there was a guy working here that was a friend of mine, and he's like, hey, I'll help you do the show. And we launched it. I forget, it's been like 4 or 5 years. As you know, we just did episode 160 together. So we got 160 episodes down and stuff. We do, we record every Thursday at 4 now. So, and then it's great. The demand is there. People are constantly trying to come on the show. What we try to do, Christian, is a combination of raising awareness of nonprofits. So if you're involved in a cause that needs some publicity, reach out. And then we interview local business owners. What we ask when they come on the show is they come on in an informational role. They're not trying to sell anything, just trying to educate people. And people understand that, and it's a great thing. What's nice is when you come on the show, folks at DATV upload it to YouTube in high definition. I was watching your show actually on YouTube the other day and stuff, episode number 1. And it's really nice looking, so it's a great way to raise awareness of your cause and of your business.
Yeah, but yet at the same time, you guys actually add a little bit of comedy. I mean, I should know, DATV viewers. I've been working behind the scenes since episode, what was it again?
You came in around 145.
Yeah, number 145. Yeah, seriously. I mean, I've been seeing this humor from the sidelines since like number 145, of which, might I add, when number 150 came on, I was literally ecstatic because I did not think that day would arrive at all. But it did.
And you got to come on. That was your first time being part of co-host. It was 150.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you're coming on every 10 shows. You have your own show at Boss It. So,
yeah, every
so
decade.
now, does that make you the boss? If it's Boss It, are you the boss?
Well, not necessarily. But I think it's about time I provided a backstory on the show.
Yeah, where did Boss It come from?
Well, I don't know if any DATV viewers out there will be a bit offended or not. But the story behind this actually came from the Irish YouTuber Jacksepticeye, who always says like a boss at during his videos and at the end, at the beginning of such. So I thought, I mean, he's pretty much a friend by now.
Yep.
I mean, he's recently amassed 11 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's amazing.
Of which I think is quite an amazing achievement in and of itself. Mainly because he doesn't really care about how many numbers there are. He doesn't even care if he doesn't have any.
Well, when you have 11 million, you don't really need to care too much.
But he cares about the people that are behind it. In this case,
Smart.
me and 10 million others.
Right, yeah.
Because, but when you think about it, when you gain like a certain amount of popularity on YouTube, it just blows your mind.
It really does.
But I mean, he always says like a boss, so I thought, might as well do an homage to him. Because, I mean, he's a nice guy.
Like I said, it's a very popular sentence. You hear that a lot, like a boss and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been an internet meme for the past 15 years.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that one little internet meme could inspire me to do an entire show dedicated to it.
It really shows you the power of what he accomplished and stuff. So.
Yeah, speaking of accomplishment, I have to ask, were there any episodes in the show where you talked about any accomplishments that you or the guests may have done?
Like I said, most of it, is raising awareness of the nonprofits and, and what they've accomplished and stuff. And it's really, interesting when, we might have had people on multiple times, and to see them, when they're first starting their nonprofit, and then see them 5 years later, things like the Drake Food Pantry. When we opened the food pantry, I believe it'd be 10 years next year in 2017. to see where we were, day one, helping 6 people to now where we are, almost 10 years later, helping almost 100 families a month. So it is kind of interesting, to your point, to watch how people in businesses grow.
Well,
It's kind of cool.
Well, it's not a surprise that you pour all the investments that you may or may not have into those kind of businesses, be they NPOs or not. I mean, by now you've seen like, what, 20, 30, 40 NPOs? I'm just trying to make
We've
a
seen
guess
a
here.
lot, that's for sure and stuff. And that's a nice thing, there's always new ones coming. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is we have the students from the National Junior Honor Society come on the show and talk about their fundraising activities. And it was always just a really fun show because, obviously it's the first time they're coming on TV. So it's fun to, to see the excitement, their parents are here taking pictures. So it's just, and for me, it's just a lot of fun getting to, to meet people through the show and seeing the impact it has. Because sometimes, Christian, after doing the show for so long, we take it for granted. Everyone can just jump in front of the camera and do a show, and you realize, well, the first couple of times it's a little more challenging. I remember the first time I did it, I was like, my God, what am I thinking doing this and stuff? But each time it gets a little easier. And it's fun when you, grab one of the old DVDs from, the first year and you see the show versus seeing it now. And it's like, okay, I've gotten a little better at this, or just getting to see, people who've kind of, you've met over the years. Hey, I forgot, about him or her. So it's kind of a cool experience. And for, someone like yourself, you're recording today, obviously, and you upload it on YouTube, and it's great for your family to see it. Because in episode 160, we had Muhammad on the show with us.
Along with old Jack.
He's new with good old Jack Wang, and he's a high school kid from Lowell High. He's been in the country a couple years. His family's still back in Iraq. So he was able to take that DVD home and show it to his parents and stuff. So it's kind of a cool experience to see.
Well, clearly that's dedication beyond any sort of command or control. Because, I mean, not everyone is fortunate enough to have parents. I mean, sure, there are some people out there that do, but I mean, they're already halfway across the board, like Muhammad's were.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah,
true.
I mean, doing stuff like that, like taking a DVD to show to his parents, clearly that's a lot of determination.
Yep.
And I mean, you're gonna need like what, a plane ride or two?
Well, look at the fun you had when you came on the show at 150. We got to watch a show with your mom and dad.
Yeah, that was mad fun. I'm not gonna lie.
But it is, and that's what we're trying to do, Christian. Is the backstory is Christian's the producer of the show, and around episode 146, I started teasing him, saying, "Christian, you're gonna have to co-host with me. You're gonna co-host with me." And then at 150, you came on the show and stuff. So we were able to take you from behind the scenes and put you in front of the camera, and now look at you. Episode 4, boss it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that a simple movie teaser could eventually be turned into a full-fledged thing.
Well, so are you going to keep going?
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, boss it. I don't even know why I started this, but I really think this is a little good thing to do. And I mean,
oh, it is.
I'm sure you're definitely going to keep continuing.
Oh, absolutely. But see, what's cool about Access Television as a whole is everybody has a voice. If you have something you have passion for, whatever that may be, whether it's politics, sports, whatever, come down, go to your local Access channel and start your own show.
That's exactly what DHTV is. Well, in a nutshell. I mean, their motto here is literally delivering a town voice, of which, like I said, I think is a great motto to live by. I mean, I've been working with the DHTV crew ever since You Can't PC. Of course, that went a bit wrong because at the time I was young and I still didn't know anything about camera cuts and such.
Right, yeah.
But by the time I got on your show, I was able to figure it out.
See?
Implement the graphics, the transitions, or rather the lack thereof in your case.
Yeah. Well, that's what, my show's a little easier. It's pretty much straight on and stuff. But that's what's nice about, about Drake at Access and all Access channels for that matter. Right now they're having the summer camp, and it's allowing high school students, elementary school students like you to come in, and see how it works. And, and for me, like I said, once I did a show once, I'm like, that was fun. I want to do that again. And like you said, and giving people that voice, to say, hey, if you got something to say, let's put you on the show and raise awareness of what you're talking about.
Yeah, you get hooked. What can I say?
It's true, you really do, because I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and then once you started, and now it's kind of neat because I like to joke, Christian, that I'm not organized. So sometimes on Wednesday I'm looking for tomorrow's guest or on Thursday's guest, but whenever I plan like 3 or 4 weeks out, inevitably I get that call from somebody saying, hey, I know it's last minute, but I can come on the show tomorrow. And last week we taped 2 shows to accommodate everybody and stuff. So, but like I said, if you're watching, you have a nonprofit, a business, you want to talk about it, I'm not hard to find. You reach out to me. You can find us on as Business as Usual on Facebook, and reach out. We'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah. I mean, number 145 was a hoot to direct, and when I got on number 150, just mind blown.
See?
Because I literally didn't expect myself or pretty much any of us to go as far as we did. But hey, we took our mentalities and we ran with them. What can we say?
But you did an amazing job for your first time, because I've been telling that story to everybody. You were co-hosting, so I was sharing my questions with you, and you would read the question and you would paraphrase it in a better way than the question I gave you.
Usually the ad lib always comes in.
But what was really cool in episode 160, Jack and I had a great time, was the end of the show when you took over and interviewed Muhammad. And Jack and I just leaned back in the chairs. That was super cool for
Seriously,
both of us.
Muhammad was like a majorly nice guy.
He is, and the poor kid, he took an internship job with Jack, and Jack, he comes into work, and Jack's like, oh, by the way, you're going on cable TV today.
And he didn't expect to hear that. I swear.
Yeah.
Even after he just had his morning donut and coffee, he didn't expect to hear that.
Right. And the next thing you know, he's sitting in the chair, looking at me going, I'm not really sure about this, but it worked out great.
I gave the guy
cool
a few
kid.
smiles when you were out of camera.
Yeah. So
he needed that. He was like majorly, what's the word?
He was pretty nervous about
apprehensive.
it. Yeah,
There's the word.
But like you said, you remember it from 150. The first time you look up and you see yourself on the monitor, you're like, oh my God, I'm on TV.
Yeah, that was with Dr. Miguel Fernandez of Helping Hands.
Yeah, like I said, good memory. Yeah. Miguel, great friend, great guy and stuff. So
definitely.
And he was happy. We had spoken afterwards. He's like, he was happy that he was part of your first episode too. He's like, he did a great job. It was a lot of fun. And it's interesting when you have a co-host when you're not used to it, because I admire your show, Christian, because typically you sit in that chair for 28 minutes by yourself. That's a lot of work, man. You should be very proud of yourself for that.
You yourself said that you couldn't do that.
No, I honestly, you can't, because
I'm not trying to mock you
when I still do a radio show, and there's times when I would go for 15 minutes just talking, and you're sitting there going, I need a drink of water, man, type of thing. But 28 minutes straight, it is impressive. Most people can't do that, Christian.
You're gonna need like an ice cube.
Yeah, because you're like, and you're trying to, think of what you want to say, and then you switch. Oh, I want to talk about this, and afterwards you're like, I should have spoke about that. So
it's all like
it's hard.
It's all kinds of complicated. 50 Shades of, if I dare say.
You just did.
Yeah. So, if we're looking for like other people out there who own businesses, be they NPOs or no,
sure.
How can they reach you?
They can basically just reach right out to Drake at Access Television. They can call over here. Like I said, they'll introduce us. You can find me on social media. I'm not hard to find if you want to look me up and stuff. But probably the easiest way is to reach out to DATV. They can definitely help you and see, perhaps you have an interest. What's interesting, Christian, a couple people have come on the show have been leaning towards starting their own show. Because as you saw it, once you do it once, people are telling you, oh, you're going to be on the show for 28 minutes, and you're like, my God, that's a really long time, until you start talking and then realize, oh, it's pretty doable, and then you want to start your own show. So we do encourage people, you're watching and you're thinking about doing your own show, reach out to the folks here at DATV. They can guide you through it and tell you what to expect.
These guys are compassion where there isn't any in primetime television.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So, another thing I wanted to bring up is, where exactly did you come up with the whole black tie thing? Like, I know it's business, obviously.
Yeah, I wear a lot of doc suits. Yeah, I like doc suits and stuff. So always been a fan of dark suits and stuff. And what's funny, where business as usual came from is it came from a friend, because we were looking at doing the show and we had a couple of names, and one of my friends just reached out. She's like, I really like business as usual. And it just kind of stuck, and like, to the point where they said we've been doing that for a few years now, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, clearly it's not a surprise. I mean, like I said like a few minutes ago at this rate, once you do your first show, you get hooked. I mean,
yeah, it's just, it is time consuming. You got to, either, have stuff to talk about, find guests. But once you do it a couple times and word spreads in the community that you have a show, then people start reaching out to you saying, hey, you know what, we're having a road race, or we're doing this, it's having people on talking about Old Home Day, things like that. It's just, like you said earlier, it's providing the community with that voice, and that's what DATV is trying to do. So even if you want to just come down and learn how to use the equipment, they have classes on that.
Yeah.
And, even learning to use the editing software, so.
Yeah, Final Cut Pro, yeah. I mean,
yeah. We try never to edit anything. We try to get it right the first time.
Exactly.
So we don't have to edit.
You never try to find the right chance to edit. You either get it right the first time, or you don't get it.
Right, that's what I tell people. We don't edit, so just be yourself and stuff. And I think that's a great point, though, kidding aside, Christian, is sometimes people can get a little self-conscious. They may not like how they look on television or how they sound. And I try to tell people, stop doing that. I always joke, people ask me, what's the key to having a radio and a television show? And I always say, don't watch it. Because when I watch my own show, I'm like, well, you did this, you said that, So I try never to watch my own show. So
that's actually a big shock for me, Kevin.
Yep.
I mean, you seem like the type that to watch the shows like, I don't know, at least a few days on end.
I very rarely do. I'll watch your show. I'll watch other people's shows. But I was here, Christian. I remember what happened. So,
of course you remember.
And like I said, then sometimes you just get focused on, like I had a gentleman on the show in the past, and he was, disappointed because he said a bunch of times. And I'm like, okay, well, what's wrong with that? You're human.
What is wrong with that?
There's nothing.
I mean, a few good actors out there mess up their lines.
Right, I'm like, and I try to tell people, you have to concentrate on the content you provided. You provided good content. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's always about the content.
It is.
Once you have that, you're set to go.
And that's why we encourage people, to come on the show, start their own show. Everybody has something to share, Christian. I believe that 100%. Everybody has some sort of expertise. Maybe you like sports. Maybe you want to do a show about sports.
Clearly, there's like half the viewers out there that are thinking that.
Right, and it's just, I joke, that, I'm waiting for someone to start a sports show. We have a lot of great shows here at DTV, but that's one thing that, would fit in if somebody's watching, they want to do a show. If you want to do a sports show, please reach out. We can definitely help you with that, because some people don't want to be the host. They just want to be a guest because, honestly, I prefer being the host because when you're the guest, you never know what's going to happen. Someone's going to ask you a question. You're like, I don't know the answer to that, Christian, So
well, yeah.
I'm a little more of a control freak on that, to be honest.
Hey, I wouldn't blame you. I've been a control freak sometimes myself.
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it just drives me insane,
That's cool.
But, yeah. But, I mean, I've always found it, the first time I got on the show, I found it a bit confusing myself.
Yep.
But by the time I ended up figuring it out, I pretty much just went off and on like that. It was like a light switch.
Yeah, like you said, in your case, it's a lot more challenging because in my case, the guests provide me with questions to ask them on the show. So they know what's coming. I've seen the questions in advance, so we've gone over them, suggested maybe some different questions. But in your case, you're just going to sit down and say, okay, I'm just going to talk for 28 minutes.
I'm literally going off of this on my brain.
Yeah, to me, that's amazing, though, that you can just slide from one topic to the other, and get them done in 28 minutes. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to lie. I agree with you in expertise. I agree with that 200% because I'm not going to lie. Everyone has their own sort of thing that appeals to them most. Like maybe you're interested in painting, want to start a show about that.
Right, yeah.
Maybe if you're interested in a culinary subject, you want to start about that.
Yeah.
Or just like you or me, you probably start off on NPOs or just maybe teen issues or tech talk.
It's true though, but like you said, everyone has one and stuff. And it's just saying, come on, like you brought up a great thing, cooking. Everyone loves cooking. So to do,
Me
just a
definitely.
program on, okay, how do you prepare these meals? Especially, people who, may be able to, maybe make Greek pastries or something to be able
Those
to
are
share
good,
that.
like
And my
grape
wife loves
leaves.
Greek pastries. I'm not a big fan, but my wife loves them and stuff.
I'm always the type for like, Danishes and
Yep.
cookies.
I never say no to cookies.
Who doesn't?
Right.
I mean, I'm just like the type to like stay with the familiar.
Yep.
I mean, other people out there. I mean, sure, I've been known to break a few boundaries most of the time,
Yep.
especially when it comes to culinaries.
But I'm with you. I like chocolate chip cookies. I know I like them. So there's no need to try a lot of different ones. Let's just stick with what we like.
Except there are people out there who have literally been known to like smash the cookie boundary in half. That is to say, I mean, there are literally people out there who have experimented on marshmallows.
Yep.
I mean, you're a marshmallow guy, my guess is.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I like a good s'mores.
Well, get this. There's this place I know. What's it called again? Planet Marshmallow. Heard of it?
No.
Well, get this. First off, it's not actually in the solar system. So for all you DATV viewers out there, it's not.
All right. Where is it?
Well, that's the big mystery to me.
Yeah.
I heard of it on the Phantom Gourmet, but let me tell you, it's a great place. They've literally got like 60 different varieties of marshmallows.
Wow. I didn't know there was that many different
Yeah, I mean,
marshmallows.
they've got vanilla, chocolate.
Yeah.
They've even got a s'mores marshmallow.
No, that sounds good.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
So, we got like 6 minutes left,
Yeah.
but I think we still got some time. So, another thing I wanted to ask is, like, how exactly did you come up with, like, the hairstyle?
It's kind of funny, Christian, because people make fun of the hair lately.
Look, I'm not trying to make fun
okay.
of that. I'm not trying to make fun of
No,
that.
it's fun.
I think it's actually pretty good, I dare say.
See, I used to wear it really, really short. And a lot of my friends were like, you're wearing it too short.
Like a buzz cut?
Yeah, and it was really tight and stuff. And then on the last maybe 6 months, I've just been growing it out. And I had to cut it because actually I was watching one of the episodes. I did actually see the DVD on one of the episodes. I'm like, all right, it's getting crazy long now. So I broke down and cut it. But now I'm growing it back out again.
I always thought that you were never the type to like worry about hair because,
Yep.
I mean, when it comes to television, you got to make sure everything is perfect. You got to make sure the lighting's right, of which, if you can't already tell,
Sure,
it is
that's
here.
why we have the crew. But honestly, Christian, when it starts to grow out on the sides, as I call it, the Grandpa Munster look,
You
that's when I
eventually
cut
just
it.
got to cut it.
That's when I got to cut it. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you been to Danelle's yet?
I know her, sure, yeah.
Yo, she's a great.
Yeah, is that where you go to get your hair cut?
Yeah, I always go. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I call this the show cut. I mean, well, speaking of cuts, there's been a few different like cuts out there. There's something I know called the super chops.
Yeah,
There's literally like your mutton chops growing out for like a mustache. And there's always the too much time on your hands where you literally have like your handlebars going out to the side all the way and then like looping into
are
like.
you thinking of growing a mustache like that with the handlebars?
Not me.
No?
No, I'm more the type to keep it like the soul patch type of thing.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And stuff,
Because I mean, I'm like I said, I keep it real. I mean, you guys do too, and I bet every single one of the DTV shows out there, they always have a certain degree of realism of which they have to meet, but at the same time, they can't go too far into the realism.
True.
I mean, I know how that is. I mean, look at me. I'm wearing an Air Jordan shirt. Come on.
Yeah.
No shameless cross promos. But I mean, I think if the truth be known, it wasn't just because of Jacksepticeye that I started this show. I think it was because I needed to fill like a major gap in primetime television, or rather, Drake-it time television.
Yep.
That is. But by the time I figured it out, I think I made a major impact where it didn't really have one in the first place.
What's cool is after you do the show for a little while, people will stop you on the street and say, you know, oh, I seen your show. What happened to me, Christian, I was stopping at the local donut place. And I gotta be honest, it was just a crazy day, just everything is going crazy. And I walked in to buy some coffee for an event. And it was a gentleman in there reading the newspaper, almost like from, you know, just craziness. And he just looked up at me, he's like, I like your TV show. Then he put his head back down and started reading the paper again.
That is
I
mad
was just
random.
Like, it was just, you know, almost like it was a sci-fi thing or something. Like, you know, this guy just happens to tell me he likes my show. But it was just, like you said, it was one of those days, just a lot of crazy stuff going on. And And I lean, and hey, wow, man, thank you so much for that and stuff. But people, will say that, I'll be out someplace and like, why does your voice sound familiar? And I'm like, I host a show on K. Oh yeah, I've seen your show and stuff, So it is kind of interesting where, sometimes people think, oh, it's local cable, who's watching it? But I can guarantee you, people watch it.
Pretty much at least this is a rough estimate here, at least 500 people.
Easily, like I said, when we put the shows on YouTube, you look at how many people are viewing it.
Pretty much like 1 million.
And that's what's great about, what we're doing here at DATV now, between having the show on local access and having it online. So like I said, like in your situation where, you have family across the country, you're telling me about your relative, well, they can hop on, on YouTube and see your show if they can't see it on the DVD.
Yeah, YouTube is pretty much global at this rate. But
that's what's cool about it.
But the one thing that I think about DATV is because these guys just do the shows for fun. That's pretty much obvious at this rate. I started the show because personally, I really don't care about the notoriety myself.
Yep.
I just like to
until you get discovered, and then you're in Hollywood and stuff. Then you'll probably care.
I'll still put you first.
All right.
You were.
You'll take me with you. Yeah.
You were where it all started.
So when you get that Academy Award, you'll give me that shout out saying, "I want to thank Kevin."
Kevin, don't get your hopes up, buddy.
So.
But you were where it all started. Thanks to you, now I pretty much know where I am, and ever since I discovered BAU.
Well, it was fun, having you on, and like I said, it mixes it up a little bit because when you're hosting the show, you have to, try to make sure that you're asking good questions from the guests, following up. When you have someone helping you, it just makes it easier and stuff, and you bring a whole different perspective to the show that, you ask questions that I might not have thought of, or make comments I might not have thought of, so it mixes it up quite a bit too. It's kind of cool.
But there's always the ad lib and the big difference, but the one thing that I really think every single one of the DATV shows has been missing, or well, rather not so much all of them, but I think what they're missing is going back to their roots myself, going back to like the first episode. Nowadays, the first episodes of like pretty much any show are stuck in the DATV archive, so
yeah, that's
you're gonna have to do a bit of digging there.
But that's what's nice for the shows that start now is they can go back on YouTube, they can go back on to the DVDs, and they can see that show and say, hey, okay, who did we have on? Or just as a producer, it's refreshing to see that because you can see how you've grown as a producer.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, hopefully I'm doing a better job now, in seeing, hey, all the people you impacted by having people on the show. I've had, like I mentioned, the Junior Honor Society. I've been out at Hannaford, and people will come over and go, hey, I was on your TV show, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool.
You're literally going on 200 episodes, and I'm only on number 4.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. As a big of a number difference that is, in the end, it's not really much of anything.
No, it's really not. It's the fact you're doing it. So you're gonna keep doing it during the school year?
Exactly. Well, that's about it for this. I'm Christian Ramos, thanks to Kevin, and we'll see you next time. So long, viewers.